Hello! Now that I've got the update for a couple of hours, I can finally collect my thoughts and talk about the Dodge situation. So let's get into it. Yo guys, what's going on? Blossom is back and welcome back to another episode of Top Drives. And today I want to talk about Dodge and the reason why some people might think I would be incredibly angry. And here's the thing. They're half correct because I am furious. I am really angry at Hutch right now. It's my blood is boiling at temperatures where pasta can not only cook in 8 minutes, but it can probably even cook in 5 minutes. That's how hot it is right now, okay? But I am mad not for the reasons most people thought I would be mad about. So let's talk about the two things first. Number one are the handling cuts. So obviously a lot of the Dodgers got handling cuts, like the Hellcats that exist in the game. But it makes sense because the new ones, like the Hellcat Red Eye Wide Body, handle better. So in terms of Hutch trying to fix the hierarchy of things, it makes sense. So seeing the Hellcat get a handling cut, seeing the Challengers and the Chargers get their handling cut, even the Dodge Slingshot, I mean that's definitely not Blossom choice anymore, but seeing that car get a handling cut, it took a couple of moments to, gather myself and really understand, oh, these cars don't really handle anymore. But then, to be completely honest, Dodge has always handled a little too well in Top Drives. To be completely honest, 93 handling on a Charger Hellcat, not this one, but the one that was from American Dream, has always been a little bit sus. I mean, obviously, it wasn't going to be ridiculously high handling. No Dodge on the planet will ever get 98 handling or whatever like that. But 93 felt a little bit too high still, to be honest. So seeing it get all cut by one doesn't really piss me off. And why I'm showing you this comparison between Hellcats and the M3s is you're never gonna have a Charger Hellcat handle the same as an M3 competition saloon. That's never going to happen. The BMW is always going to handle better. The Charger has always been the faster car, but obviously the M3 was always the car that handled better. Don't get me wrong, the new Chargers, especially these wide bodies, they actually handle pretty well. As I said in the last video, they make 0.96 Gs of lateral acceleration. That's actually very impressive, especially for a Dodge. That being said, the handling cuts, I get it. I'm not mad at that. I get it. So we'll go back into filter and let's get rid of all of these cars, right? Because I wanted to show you that comparison with the BMW straight off the bat. So we'll go back into manufacturers because I want to show you like the main Dodges that got the handling cuts. Things like the Charger SRT Hellcat going down from 84 to 83, or the Hellcat Wide Body going down from 85 to 84. Now, that one I kind of disagree with. I think that the Hellcat Wide Body should remain 85 alongside the Charger SRT Hellcat. What I don't really understand is why the Challengers handle less than the Chargers, because both of them handle the wide body versions, they handle pretty well, and the wide body is a slightly smaller car, so I don't know why they handle worse. If anything, it would actually make more sense if the Challengers handled better. But I digress. I understand the cuts. That's completely fine. I love the photo change on the Sidewinder. I mean, I'm an ass man, so like that is like up there with the Porsches, so that's really cool as well. Another thing that I don't understand is the AT1 handling on the Superstock. The thing is, the Superstock shares the same exact body as the wide body. It has the wide body kit. So why is it not 84? Okay, well, here's the other thing. Because it has drag tires, right? So because it has drag tires, it's obviously going to handle a little less. Okay, fine, that makes some sense. But then 84 to 81, too big of a drop. But at the end of the day, these are small issues. These are very small issues. I am not pissed about it because at the end of the day, Dodge is made for the straight line. At least the Chargers and the Challengers are. Vipers are made for the track. So obviously, if the Vipers got handling cuts, I would have an issue, but they didn't. They're fine. So the handling cuts on the Chargers and the Hellcats, that's fine. I'm not mad about that. It makes sense. Hutch is trying to be realistic. That makes sense. That's okay. All right. So let's put a pin in that. I've been watching a lot of, well, not watching a lot, but I watched Bolt recently, so the phrase put a pin in it, that's stuck in my head right now, so that's fine. Now, the other thing that people thought that I would be really mad about was the top speed cut on the Demon as well as the Super Stock. The thing is, I think the only thing HUD should add is maybe limited next to the name, because in theory, the Super Stock and the Demon are capable of hitting over 200 miles per hour. The Demon can hit 211, 212, blah, 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 right? But that is without the front drag tires. So for the Demon's case, HUD kind of had to choose between the two different, it's a double-edged sword almost, where HUD had to choose between two different variants of the Demon. Is this the Demon with the drag tires in the front that is capable of hitting a 2.3 second 0 to 60 and get that blistering quarter mile time? Or are we going to get the Demon with the all-surface tire, not all-surface, but the performance tire wheels that is capable of hitting that 211 top speed? But then again, it wouldn't hit that 2.30 to 60, right? So it was one or the other. So you can kind of see it this way. In a sense, Hutch can actually add a second SRT Demon with a way higher top speed, but a slower 0 to 60, but it also has performance tires and actually handles better. Maybe it might have 85 handling stock as it used to have a long time ago, right? So there were really two options for the Demon. Hutch could either go the 2.30 to 60 with the slick tires and the low top speed, or the high top speed, slower 0 to 60, better handling car. So in theory, Hutch can actually introduce a second Demon, and I think it's a missed opportunity that they didn't do that. And that, they could have added, the road legal or the road spec Demon here, which would have had a higher top speed, performance tires, and maybe a slower 0 to 60, maybe throughout that 3.2 second mark. So, that was a missed opportunity. Hutch could have added that, but it didn't. So yeah, in that sense, I'm not even mad that the Demon got a top speed cut. And in the same sense, it's the same thing with the Super Stock. Now, initially when I first saw this car get released and I saw 168 for a top speed, I was shocked. But then I did more research on the Super Stock, because obviously throughout this entire time, I was under the knowledge that the Super Stock can hit over 200 miles per hour, and it can. But when it's on those drag radials, it is only limited to 168. It's safe to get 168 and not more than that with those drag wheels. So that makes sense. But the thing about the Challenger SRT Super Stock, which is different from the Demon, is I do believe that even if you put performance tires on the Super Stock, which it does have. It doesn't have the slick tires. Even the car has performance tires. It can get 200 miles per hour. You know what I mean? So for this one, it's a little bit wrong. I don't think it should have a top speed of 168 unless you have drag radials on this. So if it has 168 top speed, then the performance tires should be switched to slick tires and then change that to drag radials and then keep that 3.20 to 60. But I don't know. I need to do a little bit more research on the Super Stock, because to my knowledge, the Super Stock is capable of hitting 3.20 to 60 without those drag tires. So in theory, with performance tires, the Super Stock should be able to hit 200 miles per hour and also maintain a 3.20 to 60. But that, once again, I need to do more research on that. But at the end of the day, I'm not too mad about that. This is Hutch sticking to their roots and wanting to be a realistic game, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the handling cuts. I'm okay with the top speed cuts on the Super Stock and the Demon. More so the Demon than I am the Super Stock. The Super Stock, I'm still a little bit edgy about that, but it's not really that bad. What genuinely pisses me off, what seriously pisses me off, is the amount of dodges they added, okay? So there are a couple things to take into account. Number one, we did not wait super long for this update. Lock to Lock was, this is the second update that we've had this year, and it's only April, right? So, we didn't wait super long for this update. So, I don't expect a super big update like World Expo with over 300 plus cars or something like that. But the thing is, right, Dodge is the flagship brand for this update. They are supposed to be, the main stage. You know what I mean? Like when you go to Coachella, imagine like they promote Kanye West, right? The Kanye West was supposed to headline Coachella before it pulled out. But imagine like, Kanye West actually headlined. He went up there, he headlines Coachella, and he actually puts in like 2 songs and he leaves. And maybe they aren't even his best songs. Maybe he does Barry Bonds, and then after Barry Bonds, he does Drunken Hot Girls, and then he's gone. That would be super disappointing, right? And that's why I'm really disappointed with this update. It's because Hutch has been kind of, hyping up this update that, is going to be this big Dodge update. And how do we know that Dodge is the flagship? Well, very simple. Number one, they changed the app photo from the Lamborghini Huracan to a Hellcat. And secondly, when you start up the game in PL19, what is the first car you see in the menu? It's a Charger. So obviously, Dodge is supposed to be the flagship, the thumbnail of this update, if you will. They couldn't do it for Lincoln. Lincoln doesn't bring the hype. Ford was kind of like an afterthought. They couldn't do it for Mercury or Plymouth or AMC. So obviously, Dodge was the front runner. And they only added 12 of them, not to mention no legendaries that you are able to unpack. There were a lot of, like I said, the Demon 170 just released. There was no way Hutch was going to get that licensing for that car in time for this update. The Demon 170 was announced literally 2.5 weeks ago, so that's fine. I wasn't expecting that, but this was a missed opportunity, like I said, for Dodge, for Hutch to add more Dodge legendaries, like the performance tire version of the Demon, for example, with performance tires and no drag radials, or even more variations of the Viper. And honestly speaking, I don't know what the MRA of this car is yet, but honestly speaking, the Charger SRT Hellcat Red Eye wide body should be a legendary, if not at least 79. I don't know why it's the same MRA, not MRA, but same RQ as the SRT Hellcat. That only means that the MRA on the Charger Hellcat Red Eye wide body isn't even that strong, but it should be, because I said this in my anticipation video. And one thing that's also wrong is that the Charger SRT Hellcat Red Eye wide body has a 0 to 60 of 3.6 seconds, not 3.5. It's 3.6. So once again, this car would get a quote-unquote nerf and get to 3.6 if they want to be correct. It has a 3.6 0 to 60, but it has a faster 0 to 100 time than the SRT Hellcat. The SRT Hellcat has 90 MRA, right? This car has a slower 0 to 60, but a faster 0 to 100 time. Not even in theory, but by the legit times from Dodge, this car should be having around 100 MRA. But if Hutch was realistic and actually implemented the 100 MRA in the Hellcat wide body, there was no way it would be 76 alongside the SRT Hellcat. It just doesn't work that way. There's no way. So obviously, I think it's safe to say that this doesn't have 100 MRA as it should have. So Hutch got that wrong as well. But I digress, right? Like I said, the main thing that pisses me off is the lack of dodges. Like, Hutch didn't even bother to add a dodge that was rare or below. They added 2 new super rare dodges in the Power Wagon and the Ram SRT10, which are cool, to be fair. They didn't even bother to add a rare dodge, or an uncommon dodge, or a common dodge. They didn't even bother to do that. Come on, dude. How lazy can you be? Like I said so many times, this is what happens when British people do an American update. Their knowledge for muscle cars is so shit. And I guess it kind of makes sense because they're all left-hand drive and they're not popular in the UK. But if you're going to make a car game for everybody, you got to put in more muscle cars. Dodge is literally the face of American muscle. I don't care if I'm pissing off any Corvette stands or any Mustang stands. Dodge is the face of American muscle. They were featured in Bullet. They were featured in the Fast and the Furious. They were featured in Ben 10, the Dukes of Hazzard. Need I go on? It's at Vanishing Point. It's ridiculous how popular this car is, and it's actually mind-boggling that Hutch doesn't even bother to add the 66 Charger, the 68 Charger, the 72 Charger, all that kind of stuff. They just missed. It's all missed opportunities. Now, here's the thing that pisses me off. Like, okay, I want to go back to my main point. Dodge is the flagship of this update, right? And this is where all of the hype was built up upon, okay? And they only added 12 cars, 4 of which are prize cars. So you can really only unpack 8. Now, let me put this into comparison, okay? The flagships from other updates. So European Revolution brought Koenigsegg, right? Koenigsegg was the real flagship, and they brought 16 Koenigsegg's. There are literally more Koenigsegg's in the game than there are new Pacific Coast Dodges, which is really freaking sad. So let me go into my cars, go to manufacturers. I'll show it to you real quick. There are more Koenigsegg's, bro. There's 16 Koenigsegg's right here, even more, right? And then World Expo. World Expo, the frontliner for World Expo were Porsche. And out of Porsche, obviously there are a lot of Porsches in the game, right? So not every single one is from World Expo. But out of every single Porsche in the game, 49, that's almost 50, 49 of the Porsches were World Expo. Okay, so cars from, okay, not the 919 because it says Enter the Black Forest. So cars from like the Müller, right, the Club Sport 25, all the way down, and they added so much variety for Porsche in every single rarity. Even super rares got new ones. This is World Expo, the Boxer 2.7, and even freaking Enter the Black Forest added a common Porsche 912. So Porsche got 50 cars, almost 49. Amalfi Coast. The headline for Amalfi Coast was Pagani. And Pagani brought 10 legendaries. Yes, it's 2 less than Dodge. Dodge at 12, Pagani at 10. But all 10 of them were legendaries. Dodge had 1 legend, and it was a prize card. You can't even unpack that. At least for the Paganis, you can unpack the Tricolor. You can unpack the Huayra Roadster BC. You know what I mean? And then moving on, Enter the Black Forest. Enter the Black Forest brought 78 BMWs. 78 across all rarities, from the legendary M4 competition all the way down to the uncommon, BMW of the South African car plate, whatever you want to call it. Because I can't remember on the top of my head. Is it this one? I think it's this one. The 530 MLE. Like, these updates brought so much depth to their flagship cars, right? And then even like going all the way back to like 2019 to Italian Renaissance. Italian Renaissance brought 69 Lamborghinis, and even though most of them are shit, I mean, at least they got a variety, right? They got super rares, they got rares, and well, it goes on the rares to be fair, but at least they got rares. Dodge didn't even get a single rare. Oh, this got a picture change. That's pretty sad. I'll be honest, I like the older photo better. To be honest, like I actually like the older photo better, but I digress, right? And they got so many packable legendaries. Yes, they were shit, but most of them were shit, but like at least they were packable legendaries, right? And then okay, so those were flagship. And then one thing that Hutch has been known for doing recently is being incredibly redundant and adding a million of so many different things. For example, we'll start off with this shitty brand over here. Where is it? Audi. Enter the Black Forest added 46 Audis. Nobody wanted this many Audis. Well, besides, Audi collectors. So Audi collectors were happy. They had their day in the sunlight. They got their 46 Audis, right? And then obviously in yesterday's video when I was ranting like crazy, Morgan, right? No, this Mazda. Where is that stupid anus brand? Yeah, look, Morgan, lock to lock brought literally 42 different variations of anuses. 42. Now always compare these numbers back to 12 Dodge. And Dodge being a way bigger brand than Morgan. You can find a Dodge in Singapore. You can find a Dodge in Germany. You can find a Dodge in obviously, US and Canada and Mexico. Come on. What are the odds that you actually see one of these things in Mexico City, bro? Literally, like, there's no chance, bro. Where am I gonna see an Aero 8 Series 4 in Brazil? No. Will you see a Dodge in person? Yes, you will. So, like, Dodge is a way bigger brand, and you're only going to add 12 cars. Morgan, they added 42. And most of them literally look at this. Look at this. Huh? Look at this. This looks nicer than that. This looks nicer than that. Seriously. What the? Bro, what is this? That is disgusting. But they added 42 of that nonetheless. And obviously I don't like Morgans, but someone's gonna like Morgans, so someone's gonna be happy. And then don't even get me started with JPT, okay? Because this was for Chicken, this was for Leo. They added 78 Subarus. Now compare 78 Subarus to 12 Dodges. Until today, I'm still collecting JPT Subarus. They added 3 new packable Dodges. I'll get all 3. Oh, I don't want to jinx myself. It's, we all know how long it took me to get the wide body. But in theory, it will be really easy to complete that update for Dodge. Because there's only 3 packable new epics and no legendaries. They added 78 Subarus. And last but not least, one of the most notorious brands in the game. With Great Exhibition, they added 53 Bentleys. Hutch is notorious for doing shit like this, like adding like different variations. Mulzan Grand Convertible, Mulzan WO Edition, Mulzan Design Series, Mulzan Extended Wheelbase, Flying Spur, Mulzan Speed, Mulzan Blue Train, like all that, right? But and really, I genuinely thought, I was so excited. I thought, oh, it's my time to shine. They're gonna add a million variations of Dodges, and I've been seeing this one comment, people saying, oh, Blossom, the world doesn't revolve around you, you shouldn't be complaining that they're not ending. Shut the fuck up. Seriously, okay? You can say that if it's a different update. If it's a German update and I'm saying, where are the American cars, then you can say I'm entitled to thinking that the world revolves around me. But if this is an American update, and I didn't even ask for an American update, they gave us an American update, so I expect Hutch to put in the same amount of effort, or at least put in the same amount of blueprint strategy as to do with their other updates, which is putting in a million variations of one single car in a brand. Is that too much to ask? Do you think the world is revolving around? No, I'm an American critiquing an American update. I know my American cars, and obviously I have expectations. So if you think that because I'm calling for more Chargers, that I think that the world revolves around me and I only care about myself and this game was only made for me, shut the fuck up. Shut up, close your mouth, lock it, take the key, and shove it up your ass. Because that isn't the case. I am judging an American update based off how Hutch does updates, especially recently. They like adding literally everything. So in this sense, they should be adding every single variation of Charger that exists. They should be adding every single variation of Viper that exists. Until today, we only have the GTSR. The Gen 5 Viper has GT3 cards too. Why are they not in the game? Why is Hutch so happy to add a million GT3 versions of a brand that I never heard of until Lock to Lock? But then when it comes to Dodge, they don't even bother to add one Gen 5 GT3 Viper. How does that make any sense at all? It's just... literally, this just stinks of if a British company did an American update. They're so clueless of absolutely everything. Look, man, can you just humble for a bit and maybe just like, I don't know, ask your American players what American cars they're missing? Come on. Literally, even like Asphalt or Forza or Need for Speed, they have the 1970 Charger. They have the 68 Charger. Okay, to be fair, not a lot of games have a 66 Charger, but not many games have a PT Cruiser, and Top Drives has a PT Cruiser. What I'm trying to say is, how can you do an entire update where you make Dodge your flagship and you don't even bother to add some of their most popular cars ever? The 69 Charger is my favorite Charger, and until today, I am incredibly grateful that out of every single classic Charger that exists, at least it's the 69 one that's in the game, because in my opinion, this is the most iconic one. That being said though, the 70 Charger has been the hero car for literally 9, soon to be 10, Fast and the Furious movies. You're telling me that a game like this that has 5 different variations of Honda Civics can't even put in the effort to put in one 1970 Charger that is literally a movie star? That is just bullshit. Okay? This was half-ass. I'm not mad about the handling cuts. I'm not mad about the top speed cuts. They are legitimate. I can see the logic in that. But I am mad at the little amount of effort Hutch decided to put into putting new Dodge cars into the game. This is ridiculously depressing. One legendary that I can't even unpack that I need to win. And let me talk about this. Why is the Durango SRT Hellcat even a prize car? Seriously. Look, I understand that the Urus is a prize car because it was the first of its kind. The supercar of the SUVs. I get it. And I understand why, the Cayenne GTS from World Expo is a prize car, because it's the best SUV in the entire game. That being said, the Durango SRT Hellcat isn't even that special in a sense where it should be a prize car. They could have made this a legendary that anybody could just open from a pack. At least give the people one pack, one legendary to unpack, right? I'm okay with an update with no legend. I'm okay with that. But we just had that with Learn the Savannah Way. Okay? You cannot give people 2 updates in a row with no legendaries. 1 update without a legendary, that's a breather. That's fine. That's like a cheat day. People need those. But you don't go 2 cheat days in a row. You go 1 cheat day every 2 weeks. No, at least that's what I do. Most people will do 1 cheat day maybe every week or every 3 days. But that's besides the point. You gotta add variation to everything. And I just feel like, what Hudge did with Dodge is just, without a better word, just blatantly and incredibly lazy. It was lazy, it was underwhelming, and I am disappointed. At the end of the day, I'm happy that they added the charger and they added the jailbreaks. That's great. But when you compare this to what they've done to other manufacturers in the past, it's without any question that Dodge was cheated. And on that note, I just want to say one more thing. Don't even get me started about Chevrolet.
Bro, this song just makes me so happy.
Me too.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.